It was the evening of November 22nd, 1986. The boxing world gathered in Las Vegas, a city where fortunes were made, where legends were born, and where history was about to be written. Inside the Hilton Hotel, the atmosphere buzzed with an electric energy, a tension that only the sweet science of boxing could evoke. The night was clear, the stars were bright, and the spotlight was on one man. Mike Tyson, only 20 years old, was about to enter the ring against Trevor Berbick, the reigning WBC heavyweight champion. In one corner, there was the young, hungry challenger, a fighter of seemingly unstoppable ferocity and raw power. In the other, there was Berbick, a seasoned veteran, a man who had seen the peak of boxing but was now looking over his shoulder, wondering if his time had come. Berbick had been through it all. At 32 years old, he had held the title before, having defeated the likes of Pinklon Thomas and Greg Page. He had shared the ring with the legends, Muhammad Ali, Larry Holmes. But this was different. Tyson was unlike anything he had seen. The rawness in Tyson's eyes, the confidence he exuded despite his youth, the aura of invincibility that surrounded him. This was the fight that would define Tyson's future. For Berbick, it would be his chance to prove that experience could still trump youthful ferocity. The lights dimmed, and the roar of the crowd echoed through the arena as the two fighters prepared to meet in the ring. Tyson, wearing his black trunks and shoes, bounced around with a youthful exuberance, his muscles rippling as he moved, almost predatory in his every step. His head swiveled back and forth, his eyes locked in on his opponent. Berbick, on the other hand, was more methodical, his movements slower, deliberate, as he stared across at Tyson with a cool, calculated demeanor, his chin raised, waiting. The bell rang. Round one began. Tyson immediately came out of his corner with a fire that was unmistakable. The young man's punches were thrown with brutal speed and accuracy, his footwork impeccable as he closed the distance between himself and Berbick. Tyson's jab was sharp, fast, slicing through the air with precision, setting up his follow-up, combinations. His body seemed to explode with every strike, and with each passing second, the crowd felt the rising intensity. Berbick, although composed, was clearly on the defensive. He didn't expect Tyson to come out this quickly, this aggressively. The veteran tried to establish his own jab, to slow Tyson down, but Tyson wasn't allowing any breathing room. The young challenger closed the distance, forcing Berbick against the ropes. A left hook from Tyson cracked against Berbick's jaw. It landed with a thunderous thud, the impact resonating through the arena. Berbick's head snapped back, his knees buckled slightly, but he remained upright. Tyson immediately pressed forward, sensing weakness. Berbick was forced to cover up, his guard tight, but Tyson didn't relent. He fired off rapid combinations, a right hook to the body, followed by another left to the head. Each punch seemed to land with unrelenting force, and Berbick's legs grew unsteady. The veteran tried to punch back, trying to land something of his own. But Tyson was too quick, too precise. He slipped inside, avoided Berbick's return shots, and continued his assault. The first round ended, but it was clear Tyson was in complete control. Round two began, and Berbick knew he had to change the course of the fight. He tried to be more methodical, to box with some distance between himself and the young, aggressive challenger. But Tyson wasn't interested in giving Berbick any space to breathe. He came out with the same ferocity, his left hook cracking against Berbick's ribs, his body shots landing like sledgehammers. Tyson's speed was evident now. He darted in, throwing punches with the accuracy of a sharpshooter, and before Berbick could react, Tyson was already back out of range, bouncing on his feet, waiting for the next opportunity to strike. At one point, Tyson caught Berbick with a right uppercut to the chin. Berbick's head snapped back again, his eyes blinking rapidly as he tried to regain his composure. He wasn't hurt yet, but he was beginning to feel the weight of Tyson's punches, the pressure of Tyson's relentless attack. He attempted to land a few counterpunches, but they were sloppy, rushed. Tyson's speed was overwhelming. In the second half of the round, Tyson pinned Berbick against the ropes once more. He unleashed a barrage of punches, left, right, uppercuts, hooks, all of them landing with shocking power. Berbick's face contorted with each blow. The veteran tried to punch back, but his shots had no sting. He was losing control, losing ground. Then, with a final crushing left hook, Tyson sent Berbick staggering backwards. Berbick's legs wobbled. He was hurt, but he managed to keep his balance. The bell rang, but it was clear Berbick had no answers for Tyson. His face was already showing the signs of the beating he was taking. Round 3, Tyson's confidence was growing. He could feel it now. The victory was close, almost within his grasp. He pressed forward again, his footwork sharp and precise. He wasn't just fighting for a title now. He was fighting for the future. Tyson was no longer just a prospect. He was proving that he was the future of heavyweight boxing. Berbick, though experienced, was starting to fade. His punches lacked the snap they had earlier, and his defenses were no longer as tight. Tyson was too fast, too powerful, too relentless. Every punch he threw seemed to hit with the kind of power that would flatten an opponent. Tyson's jab kept Berbick at a distance, setting up devastating combinations that had Berbick in retreat. Midway through the round, Tyson cornered Berbick again. He dug deep into Berbick's body with an uppercut to the ribs, causing the champion to grimace. Tyson was methodical now, each punch thrown with precision. The veteran was breathing heavily, trying to hold on, but it was clear the young challenger was in full control. Berbick took a few steps back and tried to regain his composure. He moved towards the center of the ring, but Tyson was relentless, stalking his prey with the calm assurance of a man who knew what was coming. Another left hook, this one landing flush on Berbick's chin, sent the veteran stumbling back toward the ropes. Berbick's legs were unsteady, his eyes unfocused. He tried to swing wildly, but Tyson dodged and countered with ease, a brutal combination of hooks and straight punches that left Berbick defenseless. The referee stepped in, watching closely. Berbick had taken an enormous amount of punishment, but he wasn't done yet. He clung to the ropes, trying to stay upright, trying to stay in the fight. Tyson circled around him, relentless, his eyes locked onto his prey. Then, in an instant, it happened. Tyson stepped forward with another left hook, a punch thrown with the ferocity and power that only a young Mike Tyson could deliver. The punch landed with precision, directly on Berbick's chin. Berbick's head snapped backward violently, his knees buckled as he stumbled. He fell forward, collapsing against the ropes. The referee quickly moved in, raising his hand to begin the count. Berbick tried to get back to his feet, his body unwilling to cooperate. But he couldn't. His legs were done, his body too battered to continue. The referee reached the count of 10. The bell rang. It was over. The crowd erupted into deafening applause. Tyson raised his fists in the air, his chest heaving, his face a mask of intensity. He had done it. At just 20 years old, Mike Tyson had become the youngest heavyweight champion in boxing history. The announcer's voice rang out, and the new WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Mike Tyson. Tyson's hands trembled as they were raised. In victory, the belt around his waist symbolizing the passing of the torch. Trevor Berbick, once the proud champion, sat on the canvas, his face a mix of disbelief and exhaustion. Tyson had taken what he had held onto for so long. This was a moment of greatness. Tyson had not only won the title, he had shattered records, and more importantly, he had announced to the world that he was now the undisputed king of the heavyweight. Division. As Tyson left the ring that night, the boxing world knew it had just witnessed the birth of a legend,